Curse you, Clint Blakeman! What's up, everybody? TN Fanatic here. Hope you all are having a fantastic day, and welcome to another post-game reaction. In this one, I am continuing my coverage of the Tennessee Titans and their rough season. And we lose again, but this one's pretty special because not only do we lose to the Vikings, but we also lose to the refs. Titans lose to the Vikings and the refs 23-13. Let's talk about this. This was certainly an eventful game. One filled with so many penalties. So many. And you know what? Honestly, I will say this right at the top. This reaction, it is going to blur the lines between, like, recap of stuff that happened in the game and complaining about the refs. Specifically, Clint Blakeman, bro. I got a lot to say about this guy. So, yeah, just be prepared for that. Okay, so let's dive right in. First and 10, the first big highlight comes at the 36, 10, 31 in. Sam Darnold fumbles the ball, baby. And it was recovered by my boy, Jeffrey Simmons, baby. Let's go. And, hey, that's on Sam right there. That pitch by him, it was a little behind Jones. And for us, we needed that. We needed a boost, and we needed a takeaway. We haven't had a lot of them this year. With that fumble recovery by Simmons, that was just our 7th takeaway this year. The 3rd lowest in the league. So sadly, we can't convert on 3rd down. We have to settle for 3. Vikings get the ball back. And then 33 at the 37, 3:29 in the first. Sam Darnold pass was incomplete. He was going for Jefferson. But then here it is right here. Here is our first case of the refs just screwing with us every chance that they get. Brownlee gets a penalty for pass interference, which I did not like. I thought Brownlee was in a good spot. I thought his head was turned around. I didn't think that was the right call. Absolutely not. So then 1st and 10 at the 47, Darnold, he finds Addison for a 47-yard score. And you see, this is what infuriates me, is that just one pass interference call. That just messed up our defense. And then Darnold just finds Addison. Because what does Sam have to lose, right? I mean, he can just heave that ball down the field if he thinks that Brownlee or anyone else is going to get called for PI when clearly they are not, interfering when they're just making good plays and they're getting called for it. I mean, if I were Sam, I would do that same thing. Be like, hey, you know what? Either way, we're getting the yardage, either by Addison catching it or Titans, getting the PI. And also on this play by Addison, here's why also that this play is also rough. The reason why, he went for 47 yards was Amani Hooker. Bro, that's on you, dude. You have to make that tackle. Don't just stand there. Don't get caught ball watching, bro. You have to go after him after he catches that ball. So we get the ball back. And here is another I feel like I say this every single video now, our O-line can't block nobody to save their lives. Apparently, Petit Frere, he thinks that, one arm, one hand, that's all it's going to take to stop just 300-pound human refrigerators. Not that case. And also, Levis, it looked like early on, he was not making the right plays. But again, that's because our O-line can't, what is Will supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? He literally has, 0.5 seconds to throw because our O-line cannot block anybody. I mean, there were sometimes in this game where Minnesota would only rush, 3 or 4, and then we go completely unblocked. Guys, that's a no-no. We got to change that. So Vikings get the ball back, and they have an agonizing 16-play, 89-yard drive that was, once again, clearly aided by Cleve Blakeman and these just blind rigged refs. First and goal at the 1. Actually, okay, so let's go back a minute. Okay, so Darnold on 4th and goal. He tries to find Addison, and there was a penalty on Brown for unnecessary roughness. I'm sorry, what sport are we playing here? This is football! Come on! And you know what? I do not agree with this call either. I do not. I thought Brown made a great play just showing Addison just what's up and showing him just good smash mouth football. Maybe that's why we haven't been playing like this in like the past few games because apparently we're afraid to get flagged, and we were flagged. Brown was unnecessarily flagged, and then Brian Callahan. So all right, so after this whole debacle, the Vikings get a new set of downs, and Brian Callahan, like, he is livid, and he actually got a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. Which actually, like, I get why he was frustrated. I get that, like, it sucks. And, which it did. But what I'll also add is, like, I kind of, like, for me personally, it was kind of like a sigh of relief. Like, hey, Brian Callahan, like, he is really invested in this team. If he is that mad and that fuming, like I want to see that passion, not knocking Mike Vrabel, like he was a great coach for us, but just in like that last year, there would always be moments where we would just cut to Vrabel on the sideline and him just, I don't know, he would have such like a defeated look on his face whenever just something bad would happen. So just seeing how passionate Brian had, and also just like how passionate that he was, it was kind of just one of those things for me where I was like, okay, like Brian, like there is that passion, but we just can't beat these refs. Vikings score. Darnold gets it in on the next play. It is now 13-3, and so after that, another Titans drive goes nowhere. Man, what a shocker! And then 4th and 4. Ryan Stonehouse, he has a 51-yard punt. And so Minnesota, they get the ball back. And then Williams gets called for a penalty for, it was a horse collar tackle. Are you kidding me, refs? Look, use your eyes. He grabbed the shoulder pass. That was not the horse collar. There's no way that was the horse collar. Another just call costing us yards. And then later on in this Vikings drive, 2:17 in the second, Darnold, here's another penalty. Pass was incomplete. But then Baker gets called for illegal contact. And just all these penalties keep stacking up over and over again. It just feels like the refs just would not let us get away with anything. We have one drive left in the first half. To maybe do something, but on back-to-back plays, Levens gets sacked because Petit Frere can't block nobody. Bro, you've had plenty of chances, okay? You gotta just do something here. Because you're killing me, Petit. Come on. Oh, my gosh. So, we did have one timeout at that point. But at this point, after Levis got sacked twice, I was like, boys, let's just go to the locker room. This half was rough. It was brutal. And again, this first half, it might have been the most brutal that I've ever sat through. Because unlike the Lions game, that half sucked. But at least the refs weren't against us totally. This half, it just feel like the Vikings were killing us and the refs were helping them do it. First half stats right here. The main one that I want to talk about is the penalty yards. Now, I know that ticky-tacky refs are part of the game, and it would be one thing if us and the Vikings, we had pretty much the same amount of penalty yards, but Minnesota, One penalty. One. In the entire first half, for us, we had 9 penalties, for 71 yards. Tell me how that's fair. You can't, because it's not fair. The refs were against us all game long. So third quarter, it's obvious. We need a momentum swing. And we had to wait pretty long for it. But thankfully, thank goodness, Titans fans, we got something to cheer about here. Because on 3rd and 10 at the 2-yard line, 7 minutes in the third, Levis, he finds Nick Westbrook again and down the field for a 98 touchdown, baby. Let's go! Woo! Oh my gosh, it feels so good. Oh my gosh, like that's awesome. And you know what? That's a good example of Levis being smart, catching the Vikings in a blitz, and also our O-line holding up. And for Nick, he has been absolutely on fire for us. You know, I was pretty bummed out about the Hopkins trade. He's obviously one of the greatest receivers of like all time. But Nick Westbrook, he is coming into his own. Like, he is doing amazing. This was his 5th receiving touchdown this year. All in the last 6 games. He has been on fire for us. And also, like a little bit more of a history, this was our first pass of 50 or more yards since October 29th, 2023, which I believe that was Levis's debut when he played the Falcons. So yeah, it has been a while since we've seen plays like this. This was actually tied for the longest play in the history of our franchise. So we're back in this game until the Vikings come back and score with, once again, help from the refs. 3rd and 11. 5:31 in the third. Darnold gets sacked by Simmons, and it was recovered. But then there's another penalty on Brownlee for illegal contact. So Brownlee was covering Jefferson. He covered Jefferson for most of this game. And Jefferson, my gosh, bro, dude, you are one of the best receivers today. But bro, you can't have every single flag. Like you just can't, Justin. Come on. Like, what is Brownlee supposed to do? Just let you just run all over him and let you run your route and just catch it? No! Brownlee's gonna play defense because that's his job. The first to go at the 3, Darnold finds Akers wide open for a 3-yard score. Titans have to respond, and we do that. Under a minute in the third, Levis, he finds Calvin Ridley for 51-yard touchdown. That was nullified, taken away from us. Because there was a penalty on Isaiah Prince for illegal formation, and we have to settle for 3. You see what I'm saying? These are so ticky-tacky. And it had to be on a touchdown play, too, really. Like, it couldn't have been just like a 2-yard gain. It had to be this. So we got to settle for 3. And, our defense, despite, just all of the crap that's happened to them, they made some big stops. And they forced the Vikings to punt. So we start another drive with great field goal position, thanks to a return by Jackson. And, oh wait, here it is. This is a historic moment. Chandler from Minnesota gets penalized for unnecessary roughness. There we go. Well done, refs. Well done. Thank you. Finally, Minnesota gets a penalty. This is a moment right here. And I guess this was a moment too. 4th and 4. Levis. Dang, this O-line. They had a few shining moments, but yeah, they just got killed. Levis gets sacked at the 49 for -6 yards. 'Cause once again, we can't block nobody. And poor Levis, actually, he's getting just hammered for it, honestly. And you know what? The Vikings, they brought a 4-man rush on this 4th down. A 4-man rush, and we can't even block that. Just unbelievable. But our defense, once again, they forced the Vikings to punt. And, I thought on this next Vikings drive, I thought that maybe Darnold fumbled on that third down sack. But, at that point, I was like, okay, if the refs are screwing with us, if they were screwing with us all the way in the first half, there's no way. There's no way that they are going to give this to us. I mean, why stop now? Why would you stop screwing the Titans over now, We had a few more drives to try and score. Again, our defense, they kept us in it, but our offense just couldn't capitalize on it. Levis, this was pretty much the nail in the coffin. Pass was going for Ridley. It was picked off by Harrison Smith. And yeah, that pretty much put the nail in it. And the Titans lose. Again, this loss sucks. It really does. Because it just felt like it was just so rigged. The Vikings, they are a great team, but the refs just killed us right here. And so here in this game, the total amount of penalties and yardage, Vikings had 3 penalties all game long. A few of them I mentioned here. 35 yards total, right? We had 13 called against us for 91 yards. Again, that is biased. That is wrong. That's wrong. That's just wrong, man. And what's also infuriating is that we actually, we only lost by 10. Who knows? Oh my gosh, just imagine that, if we weren't called for illegal formation on the touchdown by a Ridley, what a game changer. One non-call would have been for us. You know what? We might have killed the Vikings, honestly, if we didn't have any penalties called against us, if Cleve Blakeman just didn't hate our guts. You know what? I stand by that. Absolutely. Our defense, they got to Darnold more in the second half, and actually pretty much all game long. Were there any penalties called on Minnesota on their O-line for holding? I don't know. And Darnold, look, I get that he's having a great comeback year. There's no way he's that magical. There's no way he's that fast. I refuse to believe it. That Minnesota's O-line did not get flagged one time. When we have one of the best third down defenses in the entire league. It makes no sense to me. And you know what? Even when we were not getting flagged, our O-line was getting shredded. Absolutely shredded. Isaiah Prince had 2 penalties called against him for illegal formation. Prince and Frere. Y'all got to step up. Otherwise, you guys are getting fired. But I regress. What can you do, honestly? You cannot beat the refs. In any sport, you just cannot beat the refs. So now we're being sent pretty much to the slaughterhouse. We have to face the Texans next. So just final thoughts for this game. It sucks. It sucks that the refs were against us. Levis has been playing better. I think he's been playing smarter. Maybe he would play a lot better if our O-line could block for him. I don't know what Brian and just our staff have to do to fix that. But boys, fix it fast, please. I'm suffering over here. And I'm sure other Titans fans are as well. So hopefully in the Texans game, hopefully that one goes a little more well for us. Hopefully the refs in that game don't screw us over. And if our O-line can just hold just for a few moments. And yeah, I know that's a tough ask at this point of the year. But if we can, hey, maybe we'll get the win. Who knows? But fans, that is going to do it for this post-game reaction. Thank you all so much for watching. If you all like this video, hit that subscribe button, click that bell, and you can join our fanatic army. And a honey salutes to all of you as always. And I hope that all of you have a fantastic day.